grounds that the school fees for St. Francis is too very much. My Lord, thank you, everyone.
I thank the Education Secretary for his intervention. We are listening to his Lordship. My Lord Bishop. My dear brothers, I thank you greatly for together in a new form as Old Boys Association of our college here. I think one of the reasons why we are meeting here is the new life that has been injected into the association. I'm very grateful to God for that, and I'm really very grateful to all of you who are part of this development. I greet our national president and all of you who are here at this interactive session of the program for marking the 80th anniversary of the establishment of St. Francis College. I am very, very grateful for the interaction. I'm very happy that for the first time I am meeting with you as a group like this, and I've heard you speak from your heart. Nobody is lying or trying to play politics with words, which I'm very, very grateful. We are sincere to one another, and out of this type of sincerity can many good things come to happen, and our college will retain its identity, promotes its identity, and be more relevant in our society today. I'm really very happy for all that I've heard expressed at this interaction. Many of these things are not new to me. So this gives me opportunity to share from the weight of what I've heard from other sources with all of you as a family. First, we are really very grateful to the missionaries that established St. Francis. And as you may know, St. Francis has gone through different phases to develop into what we have today. First, at St. Augustine's compound as a teacher's college. Then by 48 or so, we moved to this permanent compound. And by 1960, it was transformed into a secondary school, because many of our Idoma politicians at that time would want a place where we can raise academicians and people who can train as engineers, doctors, and any other good thing. And from that, in the 60s, then many of you came on board, and you enjoyed St. Francis College, and up till now, you are proud to be part of St. Francis College, which we are really very grateful for. But then, in the 80s, in the 90s, St. Francis went through a lot of transformation. There was a period when the number of students here were uncountable. They kept more than 3 registers for the total population of students here, with the compound expanding by structures as well. And we had the down dormitory. And the government there was on its own. So we have the dormitory here, we have the dormitory, the old dormitory. So these people here, they had their own government. The principal had difficulties knowing how to coordinate the two groups. And shortly after that, then day boarding school was a system was introduced here. So some of the students were coming from outside as day students, and some were living on the compound. And if you make a review of how things were at that time, it was not easy for the principal and the staff, and it was not easy even for the parents, because the students began to form themselves into whatever they think was good enough for them, which was not in conformity with the identity of St. Francis College and what the church would want to impart in this place. So gradually, we have to start thinking of bringing St. Francis to what it used to be, if not very close to, if not that exactly, let it be closer to it. So this issue of letting out those who were
students here, because we wanted them to manage the place very well. When you hear the happened, we wanted to manage the college very well, and the church we want to give the best to the students. So as we were going through that process, the byproducts of the UPE education also became an issue. And even the day school system that was introduced, many of us are truly aware that the number of the day students we had in different schools around this area, families were not ready for the system. Families had no facilities for that type of education. 10 people in the family share every books.
and the student had to leave from the house every time. And if there is bereavement, everybody is going through the bereavement, no school for months, and many other things. And when there was water scarcity in the town, the day students were affected, coming to school became a problem, and so on and so forth. All these are just history now. But we really went through this challenge, and the thought and the call by many parents who also the boarding system alone came from different quarters. And it was agreed that St. Francis, St. Anne's, Holy Rosary Adoka, Emmanuel Secondary School, St. Joseph's be returned, the system of boarding school be returned. So we agreed as a church, our people, the parents, the educators we have around the diocese encourage us to do the same, to do so. And we did. But now, for the past 15 years now, we have been receiving the call to go back to this type of system. Even some have suggested that we should turn this place into a senior secondary school. Because when government was talking about this articulation of schools, they pegged St. Francis College here for a senior secondary school and St. Francis Primary as a junior secondary school. And we refused. So this is just like going through a little review of the background of where we are now. We are really very interested in hearing from you, the Old Boys Association, of the need to, first of all, to go back to our old identity, the real identity of the college, or to go close to it in a way that is sufficient enough to address many issues in our current situation. We thank you for that. And we will do our best to see how much we can do about this. Though we have been trying to do many in this regard and this respect, But it's really very difficult without the cooperation of you, the members of the Old Boys Association. At certain stage, I was just looking for the old badge of St. Francis College, because what you are wearing now is not the badge of St. Francis College. I went everywhere searching for the badge. I spent a lot of time walking through the dust in the archives there, thinking that I was going to get one of the old magazines that has the badge. And I even spoke with some of you in the town to look for the old badge. But it was difficult to get. So at times when it comes to getting back close to what St. Francis was before, we will need the help of many of you, especially those of you who are interested and are willing. Because together we can work and we can progress better. So like the issue of the badge, it was difficult, and up to today I'm saying to you, if you can lay your hand on the badge, the real badge of St. Francis College, because in the process of time, even the principals that came over to this place were not hooked to the proper identity of St. Francis College. They were not properly hooked to the tradition of St. Francis College. And even the current principal who finished from here now, you see now, he is beginning to realize that he, as a past student here, is not grounded in the tradition of the school. So can we find some of you voluntarily assisting the principal now to return the school close to what it used to be in the 70s? Can we find? Because this requires a lot of commitment. So we really need people who will volunteer to accompany the principal to do this return to our true identity. It seems I know the compound better than even some of you who are the old students.
Just first drop 10.
There is a spot where I'm living now, where the brothers will stay. If there is any noise on the compound here, you pick the noise in the place. There's another place you stay over there, the old Orange Orchard. You can see every movement in the place. All these are documented by the brothers. But then we have a problem. You see, we have many people into education as study. But when it comes to implementing some of these things that will provide academic environment, it becomes very difficult. If you look at the old structures on the compound here, all of them were built to create a communication between the buildings to create an effective education environment. But as time went on, some principals came on board, they added structures here and there, and eventually the proper communication of the structures to one another and how students can move from one place to another to create a good, conducive learning environment were lost. And this is what we are struggling with. Perhaps it may interest you to hear about this too. I rejected the offer to develop vertically when we had a request that the bathroom or somewhere should be turned into a story building. One of you offered to build a story building here. And I said no. That if we put a story building there, it's going to disfigure the compound and it's going to create barriers that will affect the learning environment. So these are the type of things we are actually struggling with. People come, they may want to do one thing or the other, but then we have to talk with them, to guide them, to be sure that whatever they do is contributing to improving the educational communication on the compound. So we are really willing, and I pray and I beg and I appeal that some of you who are educationists can help us in this regard. But my problem again is that at times we find some people who have retired, who benefited from our schools in those days, they come and they give you the impression that they were going to help for charity. But as soon as you talk, after some time, they bring you a bill. Then you begin to wonder. And if you don't have a bill to settle, it becomes a problem. So we are actually begging if you can have volunteers, because now that you have come out more actively to be part of renovating and putting more life into the college, I think this can be possible if we work together. So we will be willing, if the association may address the appeal to its members to see who will volunteer from afar or near to assist the principal to make the compound more beautiful. The issue of the school, which many of you know very well, the chapel tells you the size of the number originally wanted on the compound here. When it was 36 by 5, later they talk about double stream, 72 by 5. So we have all these things on record. So it is really very important that when we are talking about the expansion of the school, we should also be ready to have the staff who are also willing to make a good contributions in this regard. And this is where one of our challenges is. Turning the school to day and boarding school is not difficult, but do we find the staff that can manage the two systems together is difficult. Very, very difficult. Even if you see the lineup of the staff quarters today, it is a little different from what you used to know. For example, the principal cannot stay in his room now and see where there is light in the night to catch the from 5 or from 6 students reading in the night without permission. When some of you were reading in the night, you put your lamp in the carton. We are preparing for exams, you put your lantern in the carton. And the principal will stay over there and see light somewhere and come and tell you tomorrow that this was what happened. But now, look at our staff quarters. And how many of the staff are interested in this type of development that we are talking about? We may blame it to the fact that many of them are not well paid, or they are not paid on time by government. But the interest that somebody has to make a place work. I was in the Virginia Seminary a few days ago, and I discovered that some of our staff here have their awards in the seminary. Why do they prefer to put their awards in the seminary than in the college here? Why? If this place is good enough, and they are teaching here, and they are not working this place to be good enough to train their words, then something is wrong. So while we appreciate the staff that are working with the principal now, there is also a need that we will address some of these issues at staff PTA meeting, parents, teachers meeting. Because we are talking about teachers, we need the type of teachers that can deliver the type of system we are talking about. So it is not an issue of the bishop and his team deciding. All these are factors necessary to inform the bishop and his team deciding in favor of what you are putting across to us. If we have a conducive setting and we have people who are ready to work, we can't say no. But it becomes very difficult to say yes when you don't have personnel to do what you want. And the students will come and the students will begin to control even the principal. Instead of the staff teaching, the students will begin to teach the staff. just as one of the staff left this place because she left TSB. The new students came and she wanted to introduce them to Agric as a subject and began to talk about her plans. Someone said, "Ma, this is not what I saw in the television. What I saw, they taught the importance of agriculture, and then they asked whether one is interested in the importance of agriculture before they went into teaching. Because of that, the woman said, oh, the students here are sophisticated. And she went to TSB and asked for a transfer from this place. So we need teachers who will be able to deliver the type of services we are asking for. And as we are talking about the teachers, we have problems here. The old system was that government provided granting aids to the schools. After the Civil War around 1970, they moderated it in Benue here, that they were going to give granting aid to schools by providing adequate teachers for the schools. So today, you come to most of our schools, have enough of government teachers. So we have to look for, or either we call them auxiliary teachers or PTA teachers. And the school have to source for fund to pay such teachers. And at times, such teachers are more serious than the government teachers. The government teachers are giving staff quarters and they are not looking after the staff quarters. As soon as they build their own building in the town, they pack and go. And they leave the structures for the school to go and make. So these are the type of attitude some of our people have. We are working with them, we are managing ourselves with the hope that we keep improving. But if things are tidy up from that act and on our own part as a church, we will do much. The crop of parents we have are not the type of our mothers that paid heavily to keep us in the school. Over the years that I've stayed here, I've realized that something is wrong with our parents. Many parents that have their wards in St. Francis College, something is wrong. That somebody can withdraw a child in the examination class from here on account of school fees unsettled and take the child to examination malpractices center and pay heavily to get the child to graduate from such a place. What is wrong with the parents? You are not able to settle ordinary school fees of about 60,000 times 3, and you go to somewhere and you are paying 300,000 as fee for settling people who are going to aid your child to do malpractice. So we really need to talk to parents. And many parents think that the school that people went through in those days, many things were free. They never knew that some people paid for you enjoy as free things. Those things were free for you because we had concerned people who would want to have us educated. So out there and somewhere, they paid and they brought them, and their intentions were fulfilled. They want you to have textbooks at a cheap rate. They want you to have this and that free. So they brought the money. But today, if you are talking about free, who is going to pay? Who is going to give the money for this? Already Father hinted, our Catholic Church around Otukpo town now, majority of the population are old women. People who even graduated from St. Francis College, who were baptized Catholics in the college, many of them have left our system. And where they are now, they are contributing enormously to keep the church and their facilities going. And they don't remember the alma mater. So we have that problem. And even we go to the white man's land, many of those people who used to be so charitable are the old ones, and many of them are just living on their pensions now. And with all this mentality about religion, secularism in the society, and all these tendencies that the church will not promote, that they are promoting there, it has become very difficult for them in different places to support education in the Catholic schools. And even there are places that would want to support us, and because of the conditions, the church, as Catholic Church, has refused to touch their money. So, this has great impact in our economic source to run our schools. But I'm really very grateful that what I see the association doing now is fulfilling one part of this, our sponsors. You have come to clean up the compound, come to clean up some of the classrooms, you have come to re-roof some of the classrooms, you have come to beautify some of the classrooms, you have introduced solar system light on the compound, the hall is not what it used to be, many things are going digital, and we trace them to your efforts. We are really very, very grateful. But your efforts alone is not sufficient enough for us to get St. Francis to the desired desert, to the desired mountain. We shall go and we shall reach it, but together we shall march. So we appreciate the discussion we are having now as a family. And this is how families should sit together and be talking. This is just the beginning. And we are looking forward to more interactions like this, and we are looking forward to working together to bring St. Francis to the glory that you enjoyed and that has produced you as you are now, so that the young generation will also learn, and they will be better people. If they are not better than us, let them be at least closer to how we are. So, on the side of the parents, a lot has to be done. Then we go back again to the issue of our Idoma society. Our Idoma society is missing out. I don't know much about the Chief Society. When church, still in our policy, when we are building a school, a lot of things are taken into consideration. And one of the things that is at the toppermost of the consideration is that you have to look for a way of uniting people, bringing people from different axes of the society to live together, and they develop friendship, which they will carry into the society to help the society to be a better place for everybody. But with this issue of day schools introduced all over the places, and grant in aid was granted to many communities to start their own school, almost every school had every community has a school now. So they are not sending their children to Unity School. Like when St. Francis was first built, he served the old Otukpo prefecture, the whole area covering Kefi, Wukari, Igalaland to Kaba. After that, Alede was established. That was how people like Cardinal Nikon had to come to Alede from Kaba to study here. The unity the church wanted to foster. And when the church wanted something for girls, first, 2 places were opened. A boarding primary school for girls at Adoka that developed into the Holy Rosary College, and then the Holy Rosary College in Boko. So the church had a way of to bring people from different areas. When we talk now about day school system, many of the parents outside Otukpo will not have the courage to come and leave their wards in the hands of some people in the town here. I do not like their children to come and rent apartments in the town to be coming to school. We have tested that, trying to revive Adoka, it failed. We have tried that, trying to revive Aidogodo Fatima, it has failed. And today there is no student in Aidogodo. Because parents don't have confidence to come and leave their wards to higher accommodation in certain environments. So for somebody to be there, what we are saying is that we are reducing the school to only those who are around Otukpo, who have relations around Otukpo, where they can stay and come to school. And even those who may be encouraged to come, if it were just a boarding school, to bring their wards from elsewhere, may be discouraged. When we turned Adoka to day boarding system, that was the first issue we had. Some of the parents withdrew their wards from the college because they felt that the communication between the day students and people in boarding house may not be too good for girls. And when here was day and boarding, if we go into it, we discovered, we have seen, because we have tried to study how the school was at that time, how the behavior of the children were at that time, and it was not too good. But then, we can moderate whatever we have learned that was not good in how it was then, to come up with a new system that can serve us better for our own time. But then, we are going to be talking about the issue of what school fee. Like when we are trying to return Adoka to a day school, we discovered that we needed 300 students to be able to pay at least 130,000 naira a term to run the course of the teachers, pay the teachers, pay the non-academic staff, and then doing some other little things like buying of chalk, paying government levies. And who is going to pay 130,000 naira per term for a day student in our land? When we work out the logistics, definitely we are going to be needing people who are so charitable somewhere, who will be paying for some of the cost of running the school. I know that you will be willing to be part of it, but whatever is going to come from you, if it is not sufficient enough to do the management, when we don't find assistance elsewhere, we shall be in trouble. It is not a magic. If not, I would say a trial will convince all of us. We cannot just go and try on account of seeing how we can be convinced. Because when you are talking of money to be spent, the money should be somewhere. And the source of putting money into that place should also be there. If not, we will not be doing wonderfully well. Also, about the compound as we find it, already the principal knows my thought about the college. He knows that it looks as if I'm impatient with him. He's a young man, I'm pushing him too hard. And the pressure I'm putting on him, I pity him. I go and pray for him. Because almost everything on the compound here needs a touch to be good enough, or to be better enough for what the standard we are talking about. Everything. So what are we going to do? We are not discouraged. And today I know, and I'm strengthened, that we have people there who will support us to do the miracle. And these people are no other person than the Old Boys Association. So we are really very happy that I'm just talking generally about different issues that have been brought up. Then talking about the pullover and the uniform in general. All these are beautiful things. All these are beautiful things. To make a uniform, somebody has to pay for them. And even the money for this beautiful uniform alone, if you really want a standard uniform as you are talking about now, is not going to be less than how much do you think? To get a nice pullover with special design configured to each class, somebody has to pay for it. When you put a cost of the pullover, then you put the cost of the wear, that now we are going to use color. Because the joy about the color is that from 1 becomes from 2. The color is the what they are still wearing till they go and finish and go. So that's the joy of it. But the issue is that to return, even the white they are wearing now, many of them cannot maintain the white. The old uniform that looks greenish or green. So, you see, all these things are things that we know that we would like to put in place. But with people like the Old Boys Association, especially those who know the tradition of the college, not the members who finished last 2 years, who do not know. So we want the ancient of age to come to our aid to see that what we are talking about now is done. So the issue of the uniform, it attracts some money. By the time you put the money of the uniform together, and then we are going to try to design something that can distinguish a boarding student from a day student. It's by way of uniform again. So that is going to attract a little money, which the tailor is going to receive from us. And we are going to pay him. But the school will not be able to pay, so the parents are going to pay. So it's adding to what the parents are going to pay. But I'm really very grateful because I have the confidence that we can do as you are talking about. Putting a little advocacy on behalf of our education system with government will help a lot. Many of you are in a position to change things for us. But for one reason or the other, at times, it's better to have somebody who is not part of us, because we have enjoyed partnership with many people who are not part of our system than people who were part of our system. We go to TSB, we have people who are Catholics, but their thoughts are not Catholic thoughts. We go to the government house, we have many people who are Catholics, but their thoughts are not Catholic thoughts. Anytime you talk, you say, oh, Catholics like land too much. Catholic likes this too much. And they are Catholics. And whenever they return from on top and they are on ground, they come, cup in hand. And we cannot turn away from them. This is our problem. So the house will help us make the advocacy among you who are members. When you have opportunity to change things for good, please let us feel your impact. So that is with the issue of our relationship with government, because for now, government determines the school fees to be paid. And out of what government wants to be paid, government determines what he wants to collect to Makurdi. And if you don't send all these things to Makurdi, when you are going to register for the external exams, the state government will come and wage you there. They will not allow you to register. And when you look at the faces of some of these people who refuse to sign document for you, they are brother Catholics and they are some of our old boys in our schools. And when you talk, you say government now. So we are really in pains. We would like to serve as you people have indicated, but that's part of our problem. Then on the issue of the compound and restructuring, I've told the principal how the compound was in those days. I was not here, but my brothers and some relations of mine were in the school here. And even before they came to the school here, I spoke to our president how I used to come on Sundays. The porridge on Sunday morning. Yes. Yeah, you see? So, and one of the ones that I used to come to greet on Sunday morning is Mr. Obuche. And they were in the senior block here. If they bring you out of the other place, it's just like you have immunity to enjoy everything. And by the time they go out and come in, oh, you are there with eating as a student. You see, so we know how things were in those days. I do. And I really thank those who made things that way for us greatly. I continue to pray for the brothers. Pray for our benefactors and benefactresses. Even the workers at that time on the compound. You see, I had the opportunity of going through the compound with one of the people who helped construct the compound. Almost all our drainages on the compound are gone. Around the field, even when you are coming out of the dormitory where we have water reservoir now, where you used to play table tennis. Okay, look at where you used to, the brothers used to come and play long tennis. Look at the place now. So structurally, a lot of things have changed. But we can still work on what we have on the compound here to create a more academic environment than what it is now. So once more, I know that all that I'm talking about is just general, but then there are a few things that I have not talked about yet. You talk about the entrance, the wall. You see, we have come, the government wanted part of it, they removed all the things around the road. They wanted the wall demolished. We came in the first time, they came again, they want us to come in again, and we have come. Money they gave us to repair the fence was not enough for us. We had to get money from the diocese to finish it up the way we have today. Now, the primary school is plastering their own. The bishop's side is plastered. St. Francis College is not plastered. And the entrance is just as you say. The entrance is not too good. And the only thing that the entrance has provided a home for, which I'm very happy, is for mad people. So I've given shelter for many mad people. So it's helping the mad people to find a home. So it's not true. But now you have heard. But then you want me to be talking like an Igbo man, better soup. So all these things are issue of money. They are issue of money. Where we can make simple appeal, we will appeal. We are thanking the staff for what they are doing. We will still continue to appeal to them. We will still be discussing with the parents. Because the many parents we have today prefer to pay heavily for their works in the nursery primary school. In the nursery primary school, they have no problem paying up to 60, 70 in the town here. But when it comes to entering a college, then the story changes. Those of you who have your children in the nursery primary school, you know what you are paying. But when it comes to coming to secondary school, and those of you who have your children at Federal Government College, Otukpo, you know what you are paying. You'll be willing to pay heavy there. But when it comes to St. Francis College, it's church school. What is 65 compared with all the things they are collecting at Federal Government College, Otobi? Nothing. So we will continue to make the required advocacy to different stakeholders to see how we can work together to help us develop the school better. I think about the discipline. Even many of the past students hate that I am living very close to the school. Because I come to the school anytime I want. And I come, and when I see things being done wrongly, I insist in a very polite way, compatible with the mind of the school, to get them do things correctly. Even at certain times, I told the principal who was here, that when some of you were here in the 70s, there is Saturday inspection. Going from dormitory to see how the beds were cleaned and marks were awarded by house. This is a beautiful practice that helps the compound, the dormitory, to be clean. And I propose that as a way of attacking bedbug at that time. So today, who is available to go on Saturday to do this type of inspection that new people enjoyed and was a real blessing to the neatness of the compound? So these are the type of things we really, in terms of discipline, and sad enough is that we have run into issues of trying to discipline students with their parents. Parents will come and say, oh, no, they are going to court. I've told some of them, go, I will follow you to the court. Yes. Because I said it's to talk, it's what we have seen or what we have gone through. At times it's too rough to talk about. Now some boys would like to go into the ceiling, plug, how do you call it? Put a fuse there and put a charging point for their phones inside the ceiling. So this is how bad some of these things went. And when you ask them not to go out, they try to find places of going. And when you tell the parents, have your words, because they have come out of the compound without permission, they come shouting and shouting and shouting. So these are the type of things that we are meeting. But we will not relax the discipline either. Though we are doing everything to be sure that whatever we are doing creates a safe environment for them as children. They are vulnerable. They are not up to 18. We are aware of what we need to do to create safe environment for them and to provide for them what they need for their education. So we will continue to be insisting on the discipline. Though some of them are too young, even to cut grass now has become a problem. They don't know how to cut grass. And the other thing too that we have been doing, which many parents have been quarreling with us, is that if somebody has not reached the age of 12, 13, we will not want the person to enter our college here. Some people are bringing children of 10 years old that are coming to enter the college, that they can pass exam. Passing exam is not sufficient enough for us here. We are looking for maturity along the age too. So if we decide to bring the age limit for admission down a little, we are going to have more students. But in having more students, we are having more trouble. And eventually we are destroying some of the beautiful, intelligent brains that are coming up. So these are part of change we are going through. Though Father wants us to practice KISS, but I'm not practicing KISS because we are talking as a family. So it may be longer than as usual, but these days I don't talk as long as before. My home days now are shorter than before. So that's why I stood up. If I'm sitting, I'll talk longer, but so our chairman, we are really very, very grateful. These are some of our predicaments, and this is a type of general atmosphere we have around us. So you'll be able to begin to locate how to come up with what to formulate to make your request more a reality. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, my Lord. What I said, my Lord, wasn't for you. It was actually to help us keep ours short and simple so that you will have more time to address what we will keep short and simple. So once again, thank you so much, my Lord, for your intervention and your reactions. I don't know if we will say any other thing different from what His Lordship has said. I think he has captured everything. There are so many factors that come to play as far as all we have said is concerned. Times are not the same. That is one obvious truth. Some of you in the 60s, some of you of the 60s and 70s and 80s, there is always this intergenerational conflict, father and children, male and female, this conflict of opposites, a sort of, we may not be able to completely go back to those days because times are not the same. A lot of factors have come. However, if we have good things from the past, we will surely keep to it. So we thank the bishop so much. Part of what he said, he has indirectly brought out an appeal on behalf of the school regarding the fence. When I saw the primary school fence being plastered, I said these people are bringing our shame out. If you look at it now, from the end of that primary school to our gate here has been plastered. After this gate facing the chapel down to the cathedral has been plastered. Only St. Francis College fence. Unfortunately, school issues and school matters are not things you just get up and you do by force. If you do that, you break your neck. So I will join the bishop to maybe bring that to light the more to us, the old boys. If anyone, group, sets, individuals, branches that may wish to take that up as a project for us, we will really be glad. I know that if we have it plastered and painted, it's going to give a very serious beauty too to the compound. On our part, we have tried to work on that entrance. I know how many times we have tried to fill up the place, even clear the waterways there. But from up there, since it is not controlled and the drainage is not well done, our effort is usually amounts to nothing. Not long, Engineer Abaya is here to bear me witness. I consulted him regarding that, especially that water in between the two gates that we have. Anything about structures, I always consult him because he's an expert in that area. So once again, we thank His Lordship for giving us this audience. Before the vote of thanks by the Vice President, the Chairman would like to have a recap of what he has said and what the Bishop and the ES have said.
Thank you, Principal, once more for giving me the podium. When I addressed was a one-item welcome address. Between then and now, issues have been raised, and I would love also to touch on them very, very briefly, in keeping with Mr. Principal's KISS. I also want to touch on some of the programs we've drawn up. On landscaping, we already have a committee yet to be inaugurated, which is dubbed the Landscape Committee. Of course, amongst them are our old boys who are quantity surveyors and some others who have a knack for the environment. I hope that we should be able to regrow enough of the greenery that we have lost, so much so that we can reduce our carbon footprint and perhaps also get some carbon credit. I also want to inform His Lordship that among the programs we've lined up, it's, of course, I've talked at length at the resuscitation of the sports field. That is supposed to create St. Francis College as a hub of not just sporting activities, which Mr. Principal has agreed with me that he will also jumpstart the inter-house sports. And inter-house sports will move on to inter-school and then the all-Catholic games once we upgrade successfully that. We could also, I'm told, during our time in our generation, on 1st of October, like 3 days ago, we used to march all the way to the government field, which our local authorities in their wisdom have decided to sell out and for concrete structures all over the place. Unfortunately, also, what we see today is that Otukpo is an urban slum, not a city, not as clean as we used to have it. I hope that we'll be able to retouch that. Then later on, I think the march past were held in the Ochidama Square, Ochidama Circle. Now the children have nowhere to go. If we successfully reconstruct the sports field, perhaps also we can attract the local authorities to hold their march past here, therefore making St. Francis the hub of social activities and social interaction on the productive, constructive side. We are hoping also that SAFOBA will become a brand name and to put in place structures and attitudes, systems and processes that will make it a brand name. We are creating honorary membership of SAFOBA. And we want also, we are offering His Lordship the first honorary membership of SAFOBA. Second on the list will be all past principals of St. Francis College who did not graduate from here. The fact that they have been principal of this school shows and proves that a part of their life is St. Francis College. And what a better way to express it than to give them honorary membership of SAFOBA. So those are the next. Then very few people realize that when we were opening the new account with Zenith Bank, what we went through. We couldn't have succeeded within a day, and Mr. Principal was there with us. We couldn't have succeeded within a day without the help of the gentleman, the banker who stood by us, running through the system back and forth until we got it. So he is also, I promised him that day that we are going to give him honorary membership of SAFOBA. He is one, Mr. Jebo. And I remember he said, oh, I know the principal, I'm going to hold him for this one to become true. So we are doing that. Our SAFOBA programs, the legacy projects, I've talked about the sports field, but one that is very close to our heart, beyond the sports field, which is a physical object, is the medical outreach. I think, and I'm appealing to all old boys here, let us give that one our best. And not only for now, but forevermore, so that the local population can look forward to at least once a year when they can come and receive free medical attention at the expense of our pockets. It is giving back to society. Now, in terms of sports development, one of the foremost charity man amongst us has decided to rebuild the tennis courts. And I'm glad that when the Lordship was talking, he talked about where the Reverend gentlemen, the Reverend brothers used to play tennis. Some of us also played tennis there. I still see some people who play tennis there. They are with us here. So if we reconstruct it, the same gentleman has provided already a carton of tennis balls, 20 tennis rackets. Okay. My 65 years old brain can pick all of it. 2 sets of jersey for football, no hose. Unfortunately, 3 days ago we were defeated when our boys were playing barefooted. You know. Okay, so we also intend, I think it's almost ready, to have a portrait of one of the longest staff of the school, who also became one of the longest principals, who left a lot of legacy, Mr. Regis. A portrait of his is being painted and will also be inaugurated tomorrow. The where it is going to be positioned, because it's all on canvas, will be a decision by the school authorities. Capacity training for train the trainers, that is for the teachers, was held yesterday. The idea is this: during one of our executive council debates, some members were of the view that we should, instead of the sports field, we should build at least 6, and at most 6, at least 10 classrooms should be converted to digital classrooms. The question we asked him was, number one, how can you build infrastructure when those who are going to use the infrastructure are not so trained to use that infrastructure? So that was where we changed to the sports field. Now we have begun a gradual program. The next step will be teaching the teachers to become computer compatible. In the modern world, you cannot do anything without it. It is after that the teachers have gained sufficient proficiency in ICT that we can talk of building a digital classroom. That will be for the consideration of other schools coming after us. We have also instituted awards, and there are 3 categories of awards. Awards to individual SAFOBA members who have contributed tremendously, who are still contributing tremendously to the well-being of the school. The second set of awards are to sets. There are sets in this school that put their heads together, tax themselves, and say, let us put this infrastructure or that infrastructure for the school. So awards will also go to sets. The final one, awards will be going to chapters. There are chapters who have taxed themselves to do well for the school. In fact, when it comes to that one, nobody takes it away from the Port Harcourt chapter. I have been definite about that. Okay. So those are in the area of awards. Medical outreach I have touched. Your Lordship talked about entry point age-wise for the school. May I have the privilege of sharing with you and the audience, San Franciscans here, what I call the Singapore model. For those of us in the foreign service, our children suffer from lost school time, because you move into a country, the school system is different, the timing, the calendar is different, and you have to adjust. However, the issue about Singapore is this: if a child is not 5 years of age, don't waste your time taking her to school because they won't admit her. Primary school is still 7 years. So if you enter at 5, you're leaving after 7, you are 12. You are 12. Then secondary school, 5 years, 17. A levels, which they still do there, 2 years, 19, and then you're ready to go to university. But ours has been a series of policy somersaults. In Nigeria, somehow, we introduced things and then we overthrew them on board and then we do. I remember here in this school, I used to love mathematics. Then sometime around 1973, they introduced, we jettisoned the British system of measurement, the imperial system, 12 inches make 1 foot, and brought it the French system, decimal system or something like that. And then they introduced again, I think something they call modern maths. I can't remember. One Ghanaian teacher or educationist came up with some new theories in mathematics, which they call modern mathematics. And I completely lost interest in mathematics. Totally. So if we can be consistent in our policies, then we stand the opportunity to reset buttons as mistakes are made and all. So here we are. Let me stick to KISS and end my address here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I invite the Vice President, National Vice President of the Association at this point, Engineer Martin Sedeku, to give the vote of thanks. So hand your view as much as we've been able to pass our views. We believe that we'll continue to engage and review the issues as developments unfold in line with the reality of today, like you did mention, and then see how we can engage further to see what is practicable and what is doable to have the desired results that we both anticipate. Also to assure you, when you requested that the support of the old boys will go a long way, we'd like to assure you that the old boys body you see today, SAFOBA, of course you are aware of our history, and I think I was one of the principal actors. We came to you several times pushing for a position, but all we did was advise and then taught us patience, and indeed it has paid off. So what I'm saying in essence is that the old boys body you have today is a renewed body, a unified body with unity and love for ourselves and for the alma mater here. So the call for the support of the old boys will not go in vain. We assure you that we will continue to support the school in any ways we can, and that we will do better and continue to come back for your fatherly guide and stay where necessary. Thank you very much, Your Lordship. Before the closing prayer and benediction, I would like to invite the Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Professor Edward Omudo, for a few announcements.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my Lord the Bishop. Just a few announcements for what we have for the rest of the day and the items for tomorrow. After this, the next activity will be by 4 o'clock. After this, the next activity will be by 4 o'clock. St. Francis College Old Boys Association, they have a football team that is going to take on the college football team. So already our goalkeeper is here in the person of Elder Lumuku. Please clap for him. So it's our number one. So after the football, we have a gala night this evening. Please, you're all invited. There will be a gala night. There's so much fun. We have put in place some entertainment for everybody. You will not regret being here. So please, that activity will be in the evening. Tomorrow morning, there is a reunion mass at 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock. 9 is 9. We'll close the door 5 minutes after 9 so that you not disturb us. So 9 o'clock we have the mass. After the mass, we will do some commissioning of some projects. First of all, the water reservoir, and then the block of 3 classrooms that has been completely renovated by one of us, General Echenu, will be commissioned. Then we'll unveil the Mr. Regis portrait, and then we'll go to the lawn tennis court to do the foundation laying of that Obla is renovating, and then we'll also do the ceremony for the legacy project. After all those commissioning, we'll come back to the hall here to conclude by giving the awards and then have our anniversary program. We intend to start early tomorrow and close early tomorrow so that people can get back to their homes because of the local government elections on Saturday. We don't want people to be caught in here. I'm sure they are going to restrict movement. So hopefully by tomorrow, God helping us, we intend to close the gates of this place by 3 o'clock so that those that want to travel can travel back. Those are the things lined up. In case you have any inquiries to make, I'm available on here till the gala night, and the rest of you can go and find somewhere. You can go around the school, and maybe if the Lord lays on your heart to maybe take an activity like the principal have requested, you can do that. So thank you so much for those that came for this program. They already given a vote of thanks. That's for the information. Thank you and God bless you. After this, we'll have a group photograph with my Lord the Bishop outside. Thank you so much. I think we can have it here. We are not, the number is not so much, so we can have it here. I can help. Yeah. Okay, I'm told that because of the anniversary banner, we'll take a snapshot outside. Thank you. May we stand now for the prayers and blessing. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God our Father, we are eternally grateful to you for this privilege of having this interactive session between the proprietor and the great SAFOBA members for the interest of development of our premier college. For those who have come from far and near, we ask for your continued blessing upon them and upon all they do. For the remaining activities too, we ask that your presence will be with us and to guide and lead us in all things through Christ our Lord.
The Lord be with you. May the name of the Lord be blessed. And help us in the name of the Lord. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Thank you. Okay.